Hey, what's up? You can call me Kana, and today we are creating a one-stand YouTuber studio so that I can stop having this giant tripod in my office all of the time, and it allows me to make content whenever I'm in the mood to make content instead of having to futz around with a bunch of gear. I've been a creator for a long time, on and off over about a decade, and every time I stop creating content for one reason or another, whether that's work or family, I find myself tearing down all of my cool setups like you've seen before on my other channel, Call Me Kana, and I've gotten the itch to create again lately, mostly because I've gotten a bunch of new gear, and that always inspires creativity with me. And I've been going on gigs a lot again, so I've been on site with cameras and filming, and it's just really gotten the creative juices flowing. If you're also a creative, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A constant problem I find myself having though is if I have to set stuff up, I just end up not filming and not recording and not making any content for months on end. It's an endless cycle, mostly because of like the ADHD, the depression, and all the other messed up mental things that are wrong with me, stop me from doing the thing I really love, which is creating content. So we're gonna get rid of one of the biggest obstacles I have by creating the stand. Also, not to mention that this tripod is giant. Print is about the same as the C-stand we're using for this project, but it feels so much bigger because of the legs. It's not just a straight pull. So if I have it in my doorway right here and shooting back in this back angle that I've been liking lately, which is a little bit wider than I usually have it on the 18mm lens, I have to like end up walking around it, which ends up being annoying and makes it to where I can't get behind the camera easily, and I don't want to deal with this anymore. So we're gonna build this stand. As you can tell, I'm already filming on it. This is a little bit of a retrospective, and we're gonna see how it works. So the first thing we're gonna need is a C-stand. Obviously, I got a bunch of them used on Facebook Marketplace for like $100. I got like 4 of them. They usually cost like $100 a minimum by themselves, and that's buying the cheap newer ones. These are the cheap newer ones. And then I ended up buying a set of 3 wheels for this one, so it can roll around. I could take it anywhere in the office, anywhere in the house. I wouldn't carry this down a set of stairs to take it out to the garage to film out there, but it's versatile and it allows me to maneuver easily throughout my office. After that, I need a bunch of rigging gear. I have a bunch of Mayfair clamps and friction arms and baby joints and quick releases that I've just gathered over the years piecemeal. A lot of this stuff doesn't cost a lot of money. It's like $20 here, $20 there. So just start buying things whenever you have a little bit of money, and you'll eventually accrue a lot of gear. Don't buy gear just to buy gear. Make sure you're buying gear with a purpose. The first step is getting the camera mounted to this pole. The whole setup doesn't work without it. I typically like to shoot myself a little bit higher than eye level, which is a little different than most YouTubers. That's mostly because I've gained a lot of weight since the pandemic and starting to transition, and I'm insecure about it. I got a little bit of a double chin, and when you shoot at a little bit of an angle, you can hide that. That's a trick for you if you feel like you're overweight and self-conscious on camera. So we're gonna throw a Mayfair clamp on that second section, throw on our friction arm right here, which is just gonna give us a little bit more maneuverability. And then I ended up taking the fluid head off my Manfrotto tripod and throwing it onto the impact arm so that I could have a little bit of fluid movement if I needed to. After that, I wanted to make sure that I had my camera monitor on here. Usually I would mount this to the top of the camera, but it looked a little funky and I had to look a long way up to be able to get to it. And I figured this was a fun chance to experiment with some quick disconnects. I ended up taking off the gimbal arm from my monitor. This is a Feel World, like $120 monitor. It's not that great, it's not color accurate. It's just a confidence monitor so I could see myself outside of the camera flip out screen. Ended up taking that gimbal off, putting on one of my Arcaswix quick release plates, and putting a clamp on the original gimbal arm, and that way so I could put a clamp on this little micro friction arm from Small Rig that I got for like 20 bucks, and now I can quickly take this whole rig apart, slap it back on the normal gimbal, slap it on top of my camera, and be ready to go back to my run and gun shooting in like a couple minutes. Audio, I'm not really worrying about right now. I have a Deity D3 Pro on the way, but it's not quite here yet, but I have a nice pole mounted to it that can be easily tucked away and stored when I'm not using a shotgun mic. But for now, I'm just using the Rode Wireless Go with the Deity Lav mic hooked right into the camera, and honestly, I think it sounds great. You guys can let me know. This might be just the camera. This might just be the microphone solution I end up using for this channel. Finally, I needed a portable light on this stand. I tried to use this little tiny 2-inch light back when I was using the tripod, and it didn't really work out well. I have a bunch of these big 7x12-inch panels laying around, but they're all hard mounted on my desk. So the first thing I did was take one of them off my desk and mount it to the top here with half of a mic arm and a Mayfair clamp. I'm a big fan of cinema lighting, you know, that Rembrandt lighting on your face. I went to school to be a cinematographer after all, but I think I want to do something a little different these days, so I'm going for directly, basically right behind the camera with a little bit of an offset and just lighting myself at 4500 Kelvin, which is probably yes or no into the green because of how old these lights are, but it gets the job done. This light is able to be operated off battery, but I don't currently have any NFP batteries, so I'm just plugging into the wall for now. But this rig is totally able to go wireless in the future, which is super awesome. That's all there is to one of these single stand YouTuber setups, and I've been using it this whole video for the A-roll, and I think it looks great. The room is lit great, but that has nothing to do with it. I could just move this thing around to any spot in the room anytime I want. Sorry, there's a bunch of stuff in this room from doing this project. But now I have an entirely different angle. I didn't have to reposition my light. I still have my key light going up right here, and I'm ready to shoot from a different angle. It's amazing. I love it. And then when I'm done, I can just fold my folding wall back, hide it behind there, fold the wall back out so it looks presentable for work meetings, and we're good to go. I love doing these kind of DIY projects that help creators and help me make my own content, so if you want to see more of this stuff, like, alright, that's it. We're done. I need to go clean up this room now because my office is a giant disaster after spending all day doing this. It honestly doesn't take that long to build. I just had to find all my parts. They're scattered throughout my house. So click like, get subscribed. I'm gonna work on organizing this stuff and maybe make a video out of it, and I'll see you guys next time on Creating with Kana. Peace out!